Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, could you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll go a long way in helping the channel, and you'll get more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Reasonable Red 222. Am I the beehole for excluding my adopted sister from family photos? This is a throwaway. I'm using fake names. I'm a 26-year-old female and my adopted sister, Allie, is a 14-year-old female. The way we're related is that my younger brother, Mitchell, a 24-year-old male, has been with his wife, Maya, a 24-year-old female, since their freshman year of high school. Maya and Allie had recently had a bad home life, and my mom is very much a my home is open to everyone type of person, so over the year, Maya began spending more and more time at our house. Eventually, bringing Allie over as well, since she's always babysitting. By the time Mitchell and Maya were 16 years old, Maya basically lived in the guest room, and Allie spent after school, most weekends, holidays, and summer vacation at our house. My mom and dad say they both love Maya and Allie like their own children. My other siblings, an 18-year-old male and a 16-year-old female, also treat her like she's a part of the family, even after Maya and Mitchell moved out. Allie is still at their house, and the same amount, if not more, than she was before. Now, to preference this, I have nothing against Allie. She's a good kid, and I make an effort to be nice to her. However, I've never really liked how she was foisted onto our lives. She's not actually adopted, and she still has her parents and her own family, yet my parents spend so much time and resources on her. It's ridiculous. Everyone else has started unironically calling her their daughter or sister, and I've refused. I just don't consider her to be family. Anyways, I got married recently, which is where the issue starts. I invited Allie to the wedding, of course, and she came with all my other family. When we were doing pictures of the wedding parties, I decided that I wanted one with all of my immediate family, so parents, my siblings, and Maya's and Mitchell's daughter. My mom brought Allie up to take the picture with us, and I was forced to tell her no. My mom started to get upset, but then Allie said it was okay and sat down by herself. My mom isn't a very confrontational person, so she didn't make a big deal of it. But then, everyone else realized that Allie wasn't there and they got mad as well. Ultimately, we took the photo how I wanted it because they didn't want to do this at my wedding. But my entire family is pissed at me now. My mom said that Allie cried when she got home because I don't love her. Which I don't. I feel like they forced me into a position where I had to do the whole behole thing. By forcing this kid onto me, I don't think I should have to consider her family if I don't want to. Am I the beehole? Edit. After the ceremony, but before the reception, the wedding party and both of our close families took photos. I did not include Allie in this photo session, and she sat with the rest of the regular guests waiting for dinner. I did not intentionally exclude her from any of the photos taken. I'm sure she's in some of them from throughout the night, especially because she was there with my family. I hope that clears some things up. Edit 2. Maya and Allie are sisters. Sorry, forgot to explicitly say that in my post. This one's kind of a tough one. I didn't have a step sibling or anything like that. I think I'm going to go with you're not the beehole on this one. It's not like you were, screaming at her, being rude, telling her to get out of the wedding. And I do kind of feel bad because she's a little girl. She's what, 14 you said? But I'm looking in the comments, and one from Maybe Huge says, bottom line, principle is nobody should be forced to be family with anyone, period. All of these am I the beehole commenters seem to grasp that just fine. When step-sibling or step-parent is forced onto someone, that framework applies here. And I kind of agree. It's your wedding. You should be able to get the pictures the way you want. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with not the beehole on this one. This one's kind of a not weird, complicated one for me. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm going to go with not the beehole. And our next one comes from Girl BFF Christmas. Am I the beehole for refusing to swap Christmas gifts for my family friend with my friend's girlfriend? My 26-year-old female friend, Sebastian, has a girlfriend, Laura. They've been together for a year. Sebastian and I are family friends, so we both know each other's parents pretty well. I get along very well with his dad, Ralph, and we'll be spending Christmas at Ralph's place. For Christmas, I bought Ralph a travel bag, and it had personalized with patches relating to significant countries he's traveled to. It's a bit tacky, I know, but he'll find it kitschy and use it as a gym bag or something, so it's perfect for a Christmas gift. I posted about this on Instagram and Laura saw it. She DM'd me asking if I'd be willing to swap Christmas gifts with her. She got Ralph a bottle of cognac. She said since Ralph has always disliked her, this could be an opportunity for her to get into his good books. As much as I understood that, I said no. Partly because it took a lot of time putting this gift together, and partly because Laura doesn't know Ralph well. How would she even know about what significant country would have been to be added to the bag? It doesn't make sense for her to give it to him. Laura then got annoyed and said I should have some empathy for her, given that Ralph has never hidden the fact that he likes me more than her and wishes Sebastian and I would date. I do have empathy, and told her that. But I also think her saying that was a bit of emotional blackmail. Laura is now apparently whining about me to mine and Sebastian's mutual friends, and posting passive-aggressive things about the best girlfriend you have to worry about on social media. Sebastian hasn't mentioned it, and I don't want to in case Laura never told him. I don't want to make Christmas awkward, and I get how Laura must feel because Ralph is an intense person and you know when he doesn't like you, but at the same time, I feel like I should be able to give a Christmas present to someone I care about without being called that girl best friend. Am I the behole? First, you're not the behole, and second, I see why Ralph doesn't like her. Over here acting like a child and posting online about, I hate that catty stuff where you know they're talking about you but they phrase it in a way where they're not talking about you. That's so childish and that's a red flag for me. I would tell your friend Sebastian he should know what he's dealing with or walking into. But also when it comes to the present, if she wants to get in Ralph's good books, she should do it herself and find out what's meaningful to him. Wanting to take your gift and give it to him as her own isn't going to work, and he's probably going to see through that. Because like you said, how is she going to know where he's been and what he's done like that? She isn't going to be able to fool him or trick him into liking her. She's going to need to make an effort, like I said before, I believe I said before, an actual effort to get to know him and, get him to like her. And our next one comes from Mortgage Trick 2436. Am I the behole for telling my daughter-in-law she wasn't invited since she's an embarrassment at dinners since she's a picky eater? My son is on my posterior, so I'm writing this here for different opinions. My son has been married for 2 years at this point. We get along well as water and oil. I just keep my distance because I don't like dealing with her. She is a horrible picky eater. I don't know why, but I truly don't care because she's a pain at restaurants. We try to go anywhere and she'll always have to change places multiple times so she can have something to eat. She makes the waiters go through hoops so she'll have something she likes even if anything is wrong. She will moan about it or pout in the corner. An example, she got a quesadilla, removed everything on it, and when it came out, she sent it back. Because there was sour cream on the side, it wasn't touching anything, and she made a huge deal about it, about her food being wrong. She doesn't have allergies either. What really made me dislike her is that she complained about the food at a funeral. They had a sandwich spread, but went on about how it's gross multiple times. So, I had a dinner yesterday, and I invited everyone but my son's wife. Son wasn't invited either, but he was on a business trip. My other daughter-in-law posted it online and got a call from daughter-in-law. She was pissed that I didn't invite her and asked why. I told her it was due to her being an embarrassment at dinners and I won't be inviting her to dinners. She called me a jerk and hung up. My son is on my posterior and I'm wondering, should I apologize or not? Edit, I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter if she has an eating disorder or is on the spectrum. Both of those groups know how to act at a funeral or restaurant. It may be harder, but they can. Hi OP, you are not the behole. Why is your son even married to this woman? It sounds, you know what one of the biggest red flags is? Well, one of the most common red flags I hear when people are looking at someone they're dating is how they treat people at jobs, like wait staff, people ringing you up. If they treat them rude, that's a huge red flag and you shouldn't be with that person. It sounds like she's doing that to waiters and stuff like that. He should have caught on a while back. But taking a look into the comments, Salty Watermelon 789 says what I've been thinking and says it well. Not the behole. It isn't about her being picky, it's about her behavior. She is disrespectful, childish, impossible to please, and makes everyone else suffer because of it. I've met elementary school students with better manners. I agree with Salty Watermelon. You did nothing wrong. Why would you invite someone who's going to make it worse for you at the thing you're hosting or having? You are not the problem. She is, and it sounds like your son is also the problem because he's enabling this horrible behavior. He needs to check his wife because this is going to keep happening. People don't like being around people, horrible people like that. Our next one comes from Mex Percy. Am I the beehole for asking my brother-in-law what did you expect when my daughter didn't want him at her birthday? My daughter, 14, loves her uncle a lot, but she's angry at him right now. When we were walking home together one day, we saw an emaciated dog tied to a pole in front of an empty house. The owner must have abandoned her there. My daughter had tears in her eyes. I was already thinking of calling my wife and asking if I could bring the poor dog home, before my daughter begged me. Took a picture and sent it to my wife with a couple texts, and she said yes. When my brother-in-law first saw the dog, he said, he's probably going to be deceased by the end of the week. I don't know why you bothered taking him home. She teared up a bit at that. It's been over a month now, and he's still alive and recovering well. My daughter still didn't want him at her birthday party though. She's still upset at him for saying that we should have left her dog there and asked us not to invite him. He hasn't apologized for his remarks either, insisting that he was only being realistic. Brother-in-law was really upset, saying that I'm wrong for denying him the opportunity to celebrate with his niece. I asked, what did you expect? His wife then said that I was being petty with that comment. Edit, before anyone else says I'm rashly severing familial relationship, it's not like I left no avenue for reconciliation. My daughter really loves visiting her grandparents, and my brother-in-law lives with them. She is still seeing them once every few weeks, so no, I did not burn the bridges, I did not go nuclear. This was just a birthday party. Hi OP, I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. It sounds like your brother-in-law is the beehole, for sure. Him refusing to apologize. Come on, man, just apologize. You were wrong too, the dog made it. Your brother-in-law sounds one of those people who use I'm just being honest to mean, hey, I'm just gonna be a jerk to you, and if I say I'm being honest, you can't do anything to me. And even if you're in that situation and you do think the dog's not gonna make it, shut up. Maybe the dog will make it. Why would you say something like that? Especially when a child is there. I believe you're doing the right thing supporting your daughter like that. And give it time. Eventually things will, cool off and be fine. I think a lot of this could be solved if your brother-in-law would just apologize, but he doesn't sound like someone who's going to do that. And our final one comes from Olhat 2030. Am I the beehole for using weaponized incompetence back on my son to make a point? I am so tired. My son, 15, has been messing up all his chores on purpose. I started to teach him how to cook more complex stuff and other stuff, like proper deep cleaning, how to clean the bathroom well, laundry, think grown-up chores. He messes up. At first I thought he was just having a harder time, so I spent more time on it with him. It was driving me insane because I tried so many ways to teach him and I was getting quite frustrated. I even went to book an appointment to see if he had ADHD or something. I canceled it after hearing him talk with his friend and bragging about how he got out of his chores by messing them up. I sat him down and talked to him, and he denied that, saying he doesn't get it. He went as far as to say it wasn't a big deal, that he can't do it. So after, I've been messing up his stuff on purpose to show how much of an inconvenience it is. For example, forgot to turn on the dryer, so he had wet clothes. We got into an argument today, thinking I'm a huge jerk and that he knows I'm doing it on purpose. I told him that is the point and I won't stop until he does his stuff correctly. He won't talk to me and my husband's on his side. Hi OP, you are not the beehole, but your son and your husband are beeholes for sure. Popping into the comments real quick, I'm looking at 911, idiot task for brain, and they say, not the beehole. Since your husband is on his side, let him handle the chores originally assigned for your son. I couldn't agree more. But seriously, your husband seems to be a problem too, and I wonder where your son picked this up from. Because growing up, I know I eventually, learned to wash my own clothes, learned to cook for myself, which I believe everyone should learn how to cook for themselves. Your food will last longer and you'll live longer because you'll be able to know what's in your meal and eat a healthier meal. But I do believe you're handling it very well. You're giving him a taste of his own medicine. Now, hopefully, he'll learn this lesson and start doing his chores properly. Alright everybody, we are at the end, and thank you for making it to the end with me. can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really and truly help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this. Velvet out.